Hello everyone, this is Johnny Crass again, coming to you with another lore video and a little bit of an update. So the update is I've been talking to the Sustainable Center, and we're going to do in conjunction a couple of videos on kind of not how-tos for Warhammer Fantasy, but basic tacticians and a few advanced tacticians for Warhammer Fantasy and the different armies you all play. So stay tuned to that. Subscribe to the Sustainable Center if you haven't already. And yeah, let's move on. So today's lore discussion is the lore of beasts and its uses. A few armies can get lore of beasts. Off the top of my head, I can think of Beastmen. Surprise, surprise. Bretonnia, Wood Elves, High Elves, Empire, Lizards, and I think that's it. And Demons and Vampire counts, but they have to pay for it, so I don't count them. So, Lore of Beasts, Lore Tribute is Wildheart. Spells cost 1 less when casting on units from the Beastman book: War Beasts, Cavalry, Monstrous Beasts, Monstrous Cavalry, Chariots, Monsters, and Swarms. So, it's there. It makes the buffs easier, and it makes some of the damages easier. Alright. The Sig spell is a favorite of mine. It's a great spell. It's Weason's Wild Form. Cast on a 10+, unit gains +1 strength, +1 toughness. It does have a range of 12 inches, but it can be boosted to 24 on a 13+, which is really easy to cast. Well, if you have the right kind of wizard backing it at level 4. Yeah, it's just a great spell. Gets cheaper if you're casting it at the right targets. And it's just two great stat buffs combined onto a signature spell that's spammable. Alright, next spell is the Flock of Doom. Cast on a 5+, 24 inches, 2d6 strength, 2 hits. It's good for your anti-war machine, your anti-ethereal chaff, your anti-basic chaff. Even anti-sphinx, you can peg off 1 or 2 wounds on it. It's just not great against high armor or good ward. So, yeah, it's not bad for just a dinky magic missile. Next spell is Pants Impenetrable Pelt. That's always fun to say. Cast on an 8+. A friendly character within 12 inches of the wizard, including the wizard, gains +3 toughness until your next magic phase. And you can bubble it on a 16+. This is good for the armies that do the wall of characters like Bretonnia, or have a squishy mage in close combat that you need to survive. Like, he got into close combat, he shouldn't be there, but now he's toughness 7, toughness 8, and you no longer really care that he's in close combat. Next thing is some good old range damage. The Amber Spear. 24-inch range, strength 6, multiple wounds, D3, cast on a 9+, magic missile. Penetrates like a bolt thrower, and you can boost it so it's strength 10, d6 wounds, penetrates like a bolt thrower, and then it's cast on a 15. This is great for the armies that don't have cannons, don't have stone throwers, and need a way to deal with big Griblies at range. Also works really well on Mournfang, Demigriffs, if you can get them on the flank and boost it. Next spell is Curse of Anrahir, which is, in my opinion, one of the best hex spells, if not the best hex spell in the game. Cast on a 10+, range of 36 inches, -1 to hit while shooting in close combat. And until the start, and in addition, the unit treats all terrain as dangerous and will fail on a 1 or a 2. Now this is good because, per the Big Red Book, open ground counts as terrain for dangerous terrain tests. So, Curse of Anrahir will kick whenever they march, whenever they charge, whenever they flee, whenever they pursue. So, it is a fantastic spell with a very low casting cost and an impossibly good range. You can boost it to 72 inches on a 13 plus, but that's just kind of overkill. But you can do it if you need to. The next spell is Savage Beast of Horos. Cast on a 10 plus, augment 12 inches. Friendly character within 12 inches of the wizard or the wizard gains plus 3 strength, plus 3 attacks, and you can bubble it, same as Pans. This is great for, your Blender Lords or your wall of characters, and you can bubble it and turn it into pretty much a wall of death. So it's great for dealing out the hurt, bringing all the damage in, and just overall it's a fantastic spell. And finally, Transformation of Kadon. Now, it's cast on a 16 plus, remains in play, can be boosted to cast on a 20 plus, and it can turn you into a number of big gribbly monsters. Now, this is not so great on your level 4, as you need your level 4 to dispel, and he can't dispel when he's a big gribbly monster. But it is fantastic if you can get it on the level 2 or level 1 and just chuck some dice at it. Because it's a high casting cost, remains in play, that they will have to deal with. Because these monsters have an insanely strong stat line. Like, the Mountain Chimera can dish out 4d6 attacks, then strength 4 or 5 breath weapon, and then a thunder stomp. So that's 7d6 attacks possible from a Mountain Chimera in one turn, which is amazing. You can turn into a dragon, a hydra. It's really up to you. A lot of people like transformation because it gives them something to do in the magic phase, and also it forces your opponent to waste power dice to get rid of it in their magic phase. So overall, it's a pretty good spell, and overall, Beast is a fairly strong lore. Beast is, in my mind, one of the sleeper lores, in that it doesn't look so good on first glance, but when you realize how strong spells like Weason's Wild Form, Curse of Enverhere, and the Savage Beast are, it starts to become really strong. Curse of Enverhere, for like single wound models, is more reliable than Dwellers, and almost as reliable as Final Transmutation. But it can kick multiple times. And that's why it's good. Because Dwellers only happens once, Final Trans only happens once. But if they charge you with a unit that's been cursed, they take 1 for the charging, and then 1 if they pursue you. So right away you're getting 2 for the price of 1 spell, which makes it a fantastic spell. The only real dud in my mind in the lore of Beasts is Transformation of Kadon. And Transformation of Kadon is such a cool spell that it completely balances it out, being a slight dud. So overall, lore of Beasts is definitely a lore to check out. It's a more subtle lore, even though it's all about buffs and debuffs and everything. It's a lot more subtle than, say, Shadow or Death, but it's still incredibly strong. So I urge anyone who has access to it to give it a shot, because it's a lore that you'll definitely keep coming back to once you use it. Alright, I think that's it for today. If you guys want me to start doing army book lores after I finish the Big Red book lores, please let me know, because I'm definitely willing to do that. So until next time, which would probably be tomorrow, this is Johnny Crass, and I'll see you all later.